We are taking a raw open source model that knows nothing about our product. In the next 20 minutes, we'll fine-tune it on a single free GPU so it answers like our best support agent. Here is the complete path. First, we test a small instruction model before training. Then we turn product knowledge into short question and answer examples, load the model in 4-bit precision, attach a tiny LoRa adapter, train it, compare the results, and export a GGUF file for local use. We are not trying to teach the model the entire internet. We are teaching a narrow behavior, accurate Orbit-esque support answers, in a consistent style, grounded in a small set of product rules. The same pattern works for internal policies, field service procedures, sales enablement, and many other focused enterprise tasks. Our fictional product is OrbitDisk, a team support platform. It has domain rules the base model has never seen. The resolve plan retains audit logs for 180 days, SSO is configured under security and identity, and an SLA timer pauses only when a ticket is placed in waiting on customer. We ask the untouched model a simple question: how long are resolve audit logs retained? The response sounds confident, but invents a 30-day policy. That is exactly the failure we need to capture. A fine-tuning project needs a fixed evaluation set before training, otherwise improvement becomes a feeling instead of a measurement. A useful boundary before we touch the notebook: fine-tuning is not a replacement for retrieval. Frequently changing prices, live inventory, and customer-specific records belong in a database or retrieval layer. Fine-tuning is best for stable terminology, response structure, tone, tool calling patterns, and compact domain rules. Our example deliberately uses a tiny stable policy set. In production, we would still connect the assistant to current product documentation and permissions. Think of retrieval as what the system knows today, and fine-tuning as how the model consistently behaves when it uses that knowledge. Our training file is JSO lines, one JSO object per line. Each object contains a messages array with 3 roles. The system message defines the support behavior. The user message contains a realistic question. The assistant message contains the answer we want the model to imitate. Keep each record self-contained. Do not write answers that depend on hidden context. Use the same product names and capitalization everywhere. If the ideal response needs a warning or a numbered procedure, include that structure in the target answer. The model learns the pattern you demonstrate, including inconsistencies, so clean examples matter more than a large pile of noisy text. For a first run, start with roughly 50 to 200 high-quality examples. Split them by intent, factual questions, step-by-step procedures, troubleshooting, plan comparisons, and cases where the assistant should ask a clarifying question. Remove duplicates. Hold back 10 to 20% for evaluation. Never train on the exact prompts you plan to use in the final demo. In this tutorial, we use 80 training examples and 20 held-out questions. That is intentionally small. The point is to validate the pipeline and prove that the model can learn the domain pattern before investing in a larger curation effort. Before uploading anything, run a tiny validator. It checks that every record contains system, user, and assistant messages, rejects empty text, hashes normalized user prompts to find duplicates, and confirms there is no overlap between training and evaluation. This takes seconds and prevents expensive confusion later. We get 80 valid training examples, 20 evaluation examples, 0 duplicates, and 0 leaked prompts. Now the dataset is small enough to inspect manually and clean enough to train. Open the Unsloth notebook in Google Colab and choose a T4 GPU runtime. Free GPU availability is not guaranteed, so if Colab does not assign one, try again later or use another compatible environment. The first cell installs Unsloth and its training dependencies. The next check prints the CUDA device. Here we have a Tesla T4 with about 15 gigabytes of VRAM. We will use a 1 billion parameter instruction model, 4-bit loading, a sequence length of 1024 tokens, and CLORA. Those choices keep this demonstration comfortably inside a single small GPU. We load the model with fastlanguagemodel.from_pretrained. The model name points to a 4-bit unslot checkpoint. Max sequence length is 1024 because our support conversations are short. Setting load in 4-bit dramatically reduces the memory required for the frozen base model. Then getPEFT model adds LoRa matrices to the attention and feed-forward projection layers. Instead of updating every original weight, training updates a small LoRaWAN adapter. That is the key reason this job fits on commodity hardware. Conceptually, LoRa combines two ideas. Quantization stores the frozen base model with fewer bits. LoRa inserts small trainable matrices into selected layers. During training, gradients update those adapter weights while the original model remains unchanged. Rank controls adapter capacity. We use rank 16 and alpha 16, a sensible starting point, not a universal optimum. Higher rank can learn more complex changes but consumes more memory and may overfit a tiny dataset. For a focused support task, start small, evaluate, and increase capacity only when the errors show that you need it. Next, we apply the tokenizes chat template to each messages array. Chat templates matter because instruction models expect role markers and end-of-turn tokens in a specific format. We configure the supervised trainer, then mask the instruction portion so loss is calculated only on assistant responses. That tells the optimizer to learn how the assistant should answer instead of spending capacity predicting the user's question. Finally, decode one processed row and inspect it. Never assume formatting is correct merely because the code runs. Here is the training configuration. Per device batch size is 2, with 4 gradient accumulation steps, giving an effective batch of 8. We train for 2 epochs, use a learning rate of 2 times 10 to the minus 4, warm up for 5% of the run, and log every 5 steps. The random seed is 3407 for reproducibility. These values are a starting point. Watch evaluation quality, not just training loss. If answers become brittle or repeat the wording of training examples, reduce the epochs or learning rate. If the model barely changes, verify the formatting first, then consider more data or a slightly larger adapter. Now we call trainer.train. The progress bar begins moving through the dataset. On this example run, peak allocated GPU memory stays around 7.4 GB. Your number will vary with the checkpoint, CUDA stack, sequence length, and notebook version, so treat this as an observed result, not a guarantee. Loss moves downward without collapsing toward 0. The whole training phase completes in a few minutes on the T4. Low loss alone does not prove that the model improved. The next step is to switch to inference mode and ask the exact held-out questions we saved before training. First comparison: how long does Orbit retain audit logs on the resolve plan? Before fine-tuning, the model guessed 30 days and added an invented upgrade path. After fine-tuning, it answers 180 days, identifies the resolve plan, and avoids unsupported claims. We use the same prompt template, temperature, and token limit on both sides. Only the adapter state changes. That control is important. If you change decoding settings between tests, you cannot tell whether the improvement came from training or sampling. Second comparison: how do I enable single sign-on? The raw model offers a generic identity provider explanation and invents menu labels. The tuned model follows the target pattern: open security, choose identity, upload the SAML metadata, map the email attribute, and test with a non-admin account before enforcement. This is not merely a memorized fact. It is a response structure demonstrated across multiple procedure examples. We also test paraphrases and an unseen provider name to check that the behavior generalizes beyond exact wording. A polished side-by-side is useful, but a production decision needs a repeatable evaluation set. Score each held-out answer for factual accuracy, completeness, unsupported claims, required safety language, and tone. Include adversarial questions that ask the model to invent features or bypass access controls. Compare against the base model and, ideally, a retrieval-only baseline. Fine-tuning earns its place when it improves the target behavior without damaging general capability or increasing confident hallucinations. Keep the evaluation prompts versioned beside the dataset and rerun them after every training change. For continued experimentation, save the LoRa adapter and tokenizer. That artifact is small and can be loaded on top of the same base checkpoint. For local inference with llama.cpp or compatible desktop tools, export a merged GGUF. Here we request the Q4KM quantization, a practical balance of size and quality for a 1 billion parameter model. Export can briefly use more system memory because weights are merged and converted. Keep the exact base model revision, chat template, and export command in your project metadata so another engineer can reproduce the artifact. We copy the GGUF to a local machine and run it with llama.cpp. The command specifies the model file, context length, and conversation mode. The local response returns the correct 180-day retention policy and the concise Orbit-disk support style. If an exported model produces gibberish or repeats forever, check the chat template and start-off sequence tokens before blaming the fine-tune. A correct training run can still fail at inference when the runtime formats prompts differently. This final local test proves that the artifact, template, and decoding path work together outside Colab. That is the complete first fine-tune, capture a measurable baseline, curate a small clean dataset, use 4-bit CLORA on one GPU, evaluate held-out behavior, and export the result into the runtime you actually plan to use. The code is the easy part. Most quality comes from clear task boundaries, consistent examples, and honest evaluation. Once this pipeline works, expand the dataset from real reviewed support cases, add retrieval for changing facts, and introduce gunnins for versioning, approvals, and rollback. Need this on your own data and inside your own cloud? Talk to Volig.